Magnesium's role in weight loss, I'm sure it's much more complicated than anybody could tell you because of how many functions magnesium plays in the body. It really plays a role in the flexibility, plasticity of the structures, and also increases their efficiency from everything from the blood platelets being able to absorb more oxygen thanks to magnesium, and the shaping of the platelets and the flexibility of the platelets to not have edges on them and to move through the bloodstream, to move through the capillaries at the right speed, on down to the structural integrity of collagen and the base structure of the body, through the magnesium regulation of that material and how it's also part of that tissue. Magnesium is like a little sparkle effect built into these lattices and these tissues, and it's needed there for many different things. Not only the as many sentinels and antimicrobial feature of what minerals and salts can do to decrease microbes and bacteria. They have that natural capacity, to structural, to flexibility, to mechanical, meaning they help to open gates and stop gates. Magnesium has a natural attraction to water, and this molecule allows for it to use the hydrophilic and hydrophobic qualities of other elements to gate in and out cellular activities. It has a lot of, it acts as a calcium channel blocker, which allows the cell to continue its detoxification and continue its dilation, I guess you could say, to a certain degree, instead of being overrun by calcium oxidation, allowing calcium to layer in with the magnesium, to get those sparks in with the magnesium, to where that structure is more flexible and not calcified. The teeth would become calcified and brittle if magnesium wasn't there to soften up and flexibilize, I guess you could say, to render flexible that construction of calcium and magnesium. So that's how magnesium works as far as the relaxation, the recovery, the parasympathetic, the dilation, anti-inflammatory, par excellence. It's most of the research done on magnesium is done around the theme of inflammation. So this is going to be a key for weight loss, because inflammation, once it's around in any given area, that is like a panic mode, and that panic mode thwarts all of the proper functioning of the endocrine system. So all of the hormonal system is playing directly into our weight. And there's even people that say that the weight point we have it doesn't move because it's based on the amount of hormones, and there's something to do with weight and hormone production too. I mean, about osteocytes and being able to produce bones because you're putting down pressure on those same bones. Well, that also plays into a lot of the hormone theory. Is weight. And so sometimes in absence, and also, if you don't have enough hormones in the body, your body can store them in fats, and then there you have more material and more weight, but the body has the hormones it needs, and it has storage. So there's different ways to do the same thing. Magnesium also helps to convert to TSH in the thyroid, to the TSH T4 into free T3. That's very important to speed up the metabolism. Otherwise, the metabolism is sluggish, and you have to. It's almost like it's like pulling teeth just to try to lose a pound, and so that makes it more difficult. You have to get these levels back up so we don't have this problem. Not only does it play a role in the thyroid inflammation, and cytokines, the pro-inflammatory cytokines, which get in there, and this inhibits magnesium. High levels of magnesium inhibit that pro-inflammatory cytokines. And so that allows for, which is normal, because anything that renders flexible the components and the structures, even the tissues, everything's composed of magnesium in some part of its lattice. And so, and the magnesium also balances out the calcium, and it balances out salt and brings in potassium into the cells, which are needed, instead of overriding them with calcium and rigidifying them. So it has all these functions that it's needed to keep the structure, the integrity. And so that is what's going to create the base for proper receptivity of neurotransmitters, and the feelings associated, which sometimes the feelings behind things cause overeating and different things, which lead to obesity and everything else. So we got to get our deficiencies right, or we can't troubleshoot anything else. If we can get our deficiencies caught up with vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium, those three, that holy trinity, or whatever you want to call it, that trifecta, what do I call that? The threefold remedy. If we can heal that and get that up to par, doing 6 months of everyday application of transdermal magnesium and cod liver oil, fermented cod liver oil from Radiant Life. I don't work for them. I'm just giving you a place to go so you can find it. And even K2 emu oil for the K2. Turning these things up to the right way and starting to heal these deficiencies, we can get to the spot of troubleshooting where we can finally troubleshoot. Now, once we get to be able to troubleshoot, we'll probably find a lot of things in the environment which are causing the problem. The 4G waves and toxic environment, and all the aluminum in the air, all the catalytic converters in the nation on the cars. And it's not just the cars, it's also incinerators and power plants and everywhere else that they put that. It may even be sprayed from above. I mean, there's so much aluminum at this point that, like, it's hard to, it's already in the body too, through vaccines and through everything else. So getting this stuff out, and this is going to be a key to weight loss, because we always think of endocrine disruptors as being like plastics and things like that, which can be estrogen mimickers, and then that helps, that keeps us from losing weight. Soy, we know that's a bad thing for weight loss. And then that change actually the form of the body. It changes it into this soy body, where you have these strange shapes and everything. And you see that very starkly if you're like me and you lived in France for 15 years and then you come back home. You'll see those shapes and you're like, whoa, I've never saw these shapes ever in my life over there. And so where's this coming from? So soy food, soy-fed animals, it's everything. It's everywhere. Grass-fed or not, it's everywhere. I hate to say that, but they'll probably use soy oil and still consider it grass-fed, because it's just the oil part. Whatever they have to do to keep those cows as big as they were. They don't want the small cows like Europe. They don't want the small pigs. They don't want to go down and take that cut. And so until we get back down to that, we've got these gargantuan-sized, I don't even care if they're heritage breed, they're gargantuan-sized animals, and we got to come back down from that. So so this is something to do about weight loss. I think this is to get your magnesium levels up and running to where you can have the thyroid working at the right rate. You also need iodine for that too. Iodine can be found, one of the best places to find iodine is in a milk that's raw, like raw Jersey milk from a coastal area, or ordered from a Mennonite farm in Pennsylvania and shipped to you. I don't know, but you have to find a milk that when you taste it, you're like, God, this is amazing. And that's the iodine. That's what's giving it that taste. And so that type of milk will give you an active form of iodine. And if you go through a milk cure, which is like just buy like 4 or 5 gallons and just knock it all out within a few days, and you don't even have to eat anything else. It's kind of like a milk fast or something you could do, or you can do it more, a glass a night or whatever you want to do. But depending on how you have to get it and how far it is from you and all that kind of stuff. So this can give you an amazing redose of iodine in the body, and nothing can do it stronger than that, with the exception of, another way to do it would be through fish eggs. If you get some trout eggs or fish eggs and you smash them up with some butter and you melt it, and then you I put some like little honey in there, and then I put some a brewer's yeast from Frontier, which has no glutamate in it, or no added synthetic stuff on top of it, and then I kind of re-harden that butter in the fridge, and so it becomes this orange butter. Once it's all been smashed, those fish eggs, those salmon eggs, or trout eggs, and it's been smashed, it just becomes this bright orange butter. And then I use that butter and I use it on bread. That's another way to get it. And high iodine butter, like from Isigny in France or whatever. But anyway, so that's going to play a role there. But magnesium, it's got to be there. So you got to get it. And don't get the fake stuff. Get the right stuff. Always buy it in glass with blue bottles. glass because there's no endocrine disruptors, estrogen mimickers, any of that stuff in like that you find in the plastic brands. And then in general, the American brands, 95% of them are using fake Zechstein products. They're not real. They're just Asian imported extracts that have been solvent treated. It's called derivative mining, and they use the derivative magnesium for that, and then they upgrade it, which is what it's called, and they sell it for use. I'm talking about the real natural state bischofite natural stone from the Zechstein Sea in one location, which is Vindam in Holland, with the logo Zechstein Inside on the bottle. This is proof of not only the lab where they scan it, because anybody can pull off a lab in Holland, but this is happening at the source itself. So you can call them. This is like you can talk to the engineers. And so this is totally different. Nobody ever give you that kind of information in this industry. So get the right stuff. It's only $3 a week for the right stuff. It's less expensive for the other stuff, but get it right. It's a very ubiquitous molecule. It's used for everything. Do it right. So come check us out at theheartoftradition.com.